Working. Work. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is fine and happy. It's good to see that we are live and we are ready for our lesson now. It is 2 o'clock on the dot. I hope everyone is well and happy. Please, 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 triple please, quadruple please, keep yourselves muted and your video off. And also in the chat, please keep it to the lesson, guys. It's important that we keep everything to the lesson. Everything that we do, say, we keep it to the lesson. But besides that, thank you guys for attending. Today is the last day we're going to do multiplication. I saw that we've been struggling to understand, especially when it comes from the place of place value and whatsoever. So I said today, what we're going to do is that we're going to be doing examples, a lot of examples together. I'm going to explain an example. And then after I explain an example, I'm going to show you guys, because I think the problem is that it's easy for you guys when you see the number as it is and multiply, but it becomes a problem when now you have to think, okay, there's a part where now I'm multiplying the digits and there's a part where I'm multiplying the number. So to keep you guys away from that, I'm going to try my best to make you guys see that in actual fact, you do understand and how the methods work together so that you are able to do it and have the skill, because we need to be able to start other things. We need to start looking at all the other stuff that we need to revise on as we go along before you guys go in for assessments. So this is the last time where now we can make sure you do understand. So I'm going to make the lesson as explicit, as detailed as I can, so that you can use this video, the one of Thursday, the 4th of June, 2020, to refer to each time you're going to do multiplication. So I'm going to be explicit as I can, be in depth as I can, so that you can use this video as much as possible. My name is Chipono Solongwe, and as I say always, there are two ways you can contact me. You can pick one, which is you can use Twitter. That's where you can do a direct message, or my email address, one of the two, any of the two, or even both. If you want to make sure that you get a hold of me, you can use both. You can either go on Twitter, direct message, hi, or your mother. Sometimes I do get contacted by your siblings, your sisters and brothers. Access to Twitter, can contact me and tell me if there's a problem, if you're failing to understand something, or you guys can send me an email, drop me an email, and we can see how we can assist beyond the classroom itself to make sure that you guys understand. But besides that, thank you guys for attending. Thank you for being amazing students. Thank you guys for being dedicated as you are. And thank you guys for actually being part of the people who are going to change the world. So thank you for that as well. Let us get into the lesson. So we're looking at vertical multiplication. And thinking about it, here is the answers for the homework. This was the homework I gave you guys yesterday for you guys to try. Here are the answers for the homework. You can either screenshot it now or quickly write it down. Now, I need you guys to think, whenever, like if you follow with me, I'll give 2 minutes so that whoever does not have this of the homework can just quickly write it down. Whenever you think of double digit multiplied by double digit, you need to look at number one. place value comes very important. Why? There's one part where you're going to multiply with the unit alone. And then there's a part where you multiply with the 10. So it's very important that you think about place value in that one part you're multiplying with the unit alone itself. And then the one part you're multiplying with the 10, it being a complete 10. Once you understand, you'll be even able to multiply 3 digit with 3 digit, 4 digit with 4 digit, 5 digit with 5 digit. Why? Because you are able to understand that when I'm multiplying here, I'm not just multiplying 5 with 5 or something simple. If we look at 36 times 36, we're actually multiplying 36 with 36. There'll be a time when we're multiplying the 36 by 6, and there'll be a time when we're multiplying 36 by 30. That is what I think is the difficult part about it. But we will look into examples right now. You have, I think, 30 seconds left just to get this down. Wow, what happened? 30 seconds left just to get this down. So it's very important. That's why I say place value, place value, place value, place value, place value. It's very important to think about place value. As we're doing multiplication, it's very important to think and try and consider about place value. Place value, place value, place value, place value, place value. Place value is very important. Place value is very important. Always place value, place value. Think about it, reflect on it. Place value, place value, place value, place value. Where there's one part where you're multiplying with the unit, and there's one part where you're multiplying with either the 10 or the 100. So place value plays a very important role. Right. And also, I'm going to say again, I'm sure you guys saw in the chat that there's a link to the YouTube. This video will be on YouTube. That's a promise. That the video will be on YouTube. So you do not have to worry. The video will be put on YouTube so that if you need to refer back to it, you will be able to understand again and repeat. Always, if you don't understand something, admit and say, okay, I don't understand this. I don't get this. Let me listen to the video again until you understand. As I was saying that myself in grade 12, I didn't understand functions when there's something called functions with graphs, and there's a lot of things. I didn't understand it. And it took me some time to watch video after video after video after video after video after video after explanation after explanation, explanation after explanation. It took me 2 whole months to understand it. But eventually I did understand it. And I was able to do well. So always, guys, please make sure that you repeat this and you practice. The more you practice, the better. The more you practice, the better. The more you practice, the better. So, as I say, multiplication, we speak about repeated addition, as we've gone over it, to say you are adding the times table. But today, my focus is why I want to spend more time on is actually the whole part about multiplication, how the process of multiplication. And as remember, I said we've got the multiplicate, the multiplier, and the product. The multiplicate is the number being multiplied. The multiplier is the number multiplying the multiplicate. And the result is, and the product is the result of the multiplication. Right. So let us look at it. For example, if we look at 6 times 7, we are actually looking at, if we're going to take 6 and add it to
Hi, just reshare your screen.
So if you are going to take 6 and add it to itself 7 times, if you are going to take 6, it's not shared. Is it fine now?
Yes, we can see now. Thanks.
Is it shared now? Is it okay?
Yes, yeah, everything is fine. You can just go on now. It's back.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
So if you're going to take, if you look at, all right, thank you, thank you. If we're looking at 6 times 7, if we're looking at 6 times 7, we're looking at 6 added to itself 7 times. So 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. But when we are doing 2-digit to 2-digit, it's going to take us forever. Imagine if, for example, imagine if we have to do, if this wasn't 3, but imagine if we had to go about and say 175 times 36, then you have to write 175 36 times. It wouldn't work. So you come and you get this process where you say now, I'm multiplying this process where now you take the 3 and say, okay, I'm going to say 3 times 5, give me 15. Then I say 3 times the 70 gives me 210. Then 3 times 100 gives me 300. I add everything together, I get 525. It's fine. It's only 1 digit multiplied by 175. It's only 1, right? Only 1 digit, 1 number being multiplied by 175. But then the tricky part comes in, because this one is quite simple. I just take 1 digit, I multiply. Here it would be like 3 times 5 is 15. So I put I put the 5, then I carry a 1. I carry a 1. Then I start multiplication again. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 1 is 22. I put the 2, the last digit, the 2 of the 22 down, and I carry, wow. And I carry the 2 over. Then I say 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 it's 5. Here, most of the time, you're doing digit with digit in this part. Here, what we do, we actually multiplying with the actual number. Right. But now I want to go to the more difficult one. I'll give you guys some time just to write this down quickly. Write this down. We've got some few minutes, 3 minutes at max to write this down. Just write this down, have it with you. Then now we're going to explain double digit with double digit. Then we try exercises. So quickly have this down. Quickly have this down. You can screenshot. You can, some of you are screen recording, which is awesome, but quickly have this down, all of this down. Then we go with 2 digits again and get it and get to understand what's really happening. That's why I said that today we're going to be as explicit as possible, to go in as detailed as possible, even if it means writing it down to say, okay, this comes from this comes from that, this comes from that, so that you are able to understand. But you have about, I have to be strict on time because about a minute left, 1 minute left. We have 1 minute left. You have 1 minute left. All right, I think it's better now. Yeah, it's better, the connection. Okay, fine. Okay. Awesome. Right. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up. So let's look at 2-digit with 2. Let's look at 2-digit with 2-digit. I have 44 multiplied by 24. Right. So here, what's going to happen is that because I'm on the unit side, now let me explain. Your first line is the result. Your first line here is a result of multiplying with the 4, right? Your second line here is a result of multiplying with the 20. So your top line here comes from this side. This one comes from that side. So if you're going to have a third one, it means you're going to multiply with you're multiplying with something that is in the hundreds. But we're not doing that now. Now we're multiplying something that's in the tens place. Or let's say it has a unit and a tens place, which is 24. Right. Having that in mind, you start. You start multiplying digit for digit. And multiplying digit for digit, you have 16 times 4. So now having 16, not 16, sorry. You have 4 times 4, which is what? 16. Having 16, 16 has what? 1 and a 6. It has a digit of 1 and a 6, which makes it 16. You put down the 6 and the 1, you carry it over. That's what? 4 times 4. Then again, you have 4 times 4, which is 16. But because you had carried that 1, which was coming from multiplying this the first time, you have to add it and it becomes what? 17. And since there's no other number here, you just write it down. 1 and a 7, which gives you 176. Then we move on now to our next one. We move on now to our next place, which is multiplying with the 20. And multiplying with the 20, what's important is you need to put down what? A 0. Why are we putting down a 0? Look what was going to happen if we multiplied without putting a 0. We're going to say 2 times 4 is 8, and we're going to put that 8 here, right? And then we were going to say, let me show you what was going to happen quickly. 44, right? 44 multiplied by 24. Uh, 24. Then we close it. Then we had, isn't it the first part we got 176? We're fine with 176. Now, I don't know what's my PC now. We're fine with 176. Then we said we didn't put 0 as a placeholder. We didn't put the 0 as a placeholder. So we just multiplied 2 times 4. Then we're going to just put the 8 here. And we're going to say 2 times 4. Then we're going to put the 8 here. That's when you start finding that your answers are wrong. Because you did not put the 0 as a placeholder, because it's like multiplying 2. And yet what you're multiplying with is 20. 20. Not 2, It's 20. That's why we put the 0 as the placeholder to say that we are multiplying something that has a 10. We are multiplying with something that has a 10. That's why you normally get answers wrong, because you don't put that 0 here. Then you start digit for digit. 2 times 4 is 8. Drop down the 8. 2 times 4, 8. Drop down the 8. Then you add all together. 6 plus, wow, there's a mistake here. Oopsie. There's a mistake here. I have a mistake here. It's supposed to have, we're supposed to be having a 6 here, right? Right here, we're supposed to be having a 6. There's a mistake. It's supposed to be a 6 here. But all in all, we'll get the correct answer finally. There's a mistake here. There was supposed to be a 6. So that's the whole process. That is the whole process. Right. Let's look at another example. There was a mistake there. Let us go here to this example quickly. We have a mistake there. Are you malfunctioning? Right. Let's look here at this example. There was a mistake there. So, as I said, same column content, same everything. You are looking at, remember that this one is comes from here. And when you're multiplying with this side, it comes from here. And when you're multiplying with the tens, you're putting what? 0 as a placeholder. Are we together? Or do we have any questions right now? Do we have any questions right now? Does anyone have a question? Please keep your video off at all times. Please keep your video off at all times. Or do we have any questions right now? So I can clear up. Sorry about the mistake earlier on. It was short of a 6 there. So can I please have, are there any questions right now? Anyone with a question? So that before we start practicing, before we start actually going into it, we have a question, but we must understand that one part you're multiplying with the 10, one part you're multiplying with the 0. For example, I've got 0 times 5, it's 0. Okay, I've got a question. Good. I've got a question. I've got a question. Hello? It's not working. Hello?
Hello?
How are
Hello?
you? Hello? I'm good. What is your question?
Must we write everything?
No, I'll tell you what to write.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Do you understand? Are you understanding though?
Yes.
Awesome. Good. It's good. Can I have another question? I'll tell you guys when to write. Actually, write out this one. Write out this one. This one is a perfect answer. Write out this one. You can write it out while I explain. Right. So one part, as I said, this one, when you're multiplying, the first side, the first row on top is for the units. The second one is for the tens. And we remember that now you're multiplying digit for digit. So 0 times 5, 0. 0 times 5 again, 0. We go now for digit, but because it's a 10, we put what? 0 as a placeholder. So we place 0 as a placeholder to say hold this, be a placeholder for us. Right, and you place 0 as a placeholder. Then you start digit for digit. 3 times 5, 15. Then you say carry 1. 3 times 5. So remember, 3 times 5 is what? 15. It has 2 digits, right? So we drop the 5 here and we put 1 over. Then you say 3 times 5 again, it's what? Three times 5 is what? 15. Plus 1, it's 16. And because there's nothing else, you don't need to carry on to anything else. You just drop the 16, 1 and 6. And then you add everything together and you get 1,650. Write this down, please. Please write this down. Please write that down. Please, please, please. Please write this down. Then we're going to try questions. Then we're going to try questions. Then we're going to try questions. Please have this down. Then we're going to try some questions. I hope we're still on time. All right, we're still on time. Please have this down. Give you guys a quick 2 minutes to write this down. Then we're going to try questions. Because I see that you guys do understand the part where here we take 55, we split it, then we multiply, because if we look at that part, while you're writing it down, I'll explain. If we look at that part, one part it's 50 times the 0, then the other part it's 50 here times the 30, then one part is 50 times the 30, and the other part is 50 times the 0. So one part you're gonna have the 50, the 5 out of the 50 multiplied by 0. One part you're gonna have it multiplied by 30. One part you're gonna have the 0 out of the 30 being multiplied by the 50, and the 30 multiplied by the 50. You get answers, then you add them together, you get 1,650. Right. So that one is more simple, right? It's more simple. But now let's try and understand. Let's try and understand this part where it is the vertical, where it is the vertical multiplication, which is now, I think it will come more clearly when you try the example in the next one. So the next one we're going to try the example, and then after we try the example, that's when now we're going to actually, that's when we're actually going to see that whether we understand or don't understand. But I think I've given you guys enough time. Let's go to the next question. I hope you guys are done writing this down. Can I just get notification through the chat that you guys are done? So what we're going to do now, we're going to try some questions. The questions that we're going to try are going to be in the next slide. In the next slide, that's where the question we're going to try. You try on your own, you get answers, and then we're going to try, and I'm going to be explaining it again so that to make sure that you guys do understand. And please, guys, also practice your times tables so that the multiplication part about it can become simpler. The multiplication part about it can become simpler. All right, next slide. Try this, 88 times 97. 88 times 97. I'm going to give you guys about 4 minutes to try it. 88 times 97. Try 88 times 97. Think about it very carefully. When you are multiplying with just a unit, when are you multiplying with a 10? Try 88 times 97. And if you're done, you can just give me the answer in the chat. And then I'm going to explain again the whole process again for you. Make sure you put the placeholder, as I tried showing you earlier on, what happens if you do not put a placeholder. So make sure you do put a placeholder. Please, 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 please. Make sure your placeholder is there. So it can be a difference between multiplying with a unit and multiplying with a 10. Please, please do that. You have more than enough time, and because I really want to make sure that I leave you guys understanding. Once I can leave you guys from this lesson understanding, I will be a happy man. So please, 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 please take some time to do it. Don't use a calculator. Try on your own and see how do you fare. How do you get? Do you understand? If you do, you can also raise your hand using the function and try to explain to us how you got the answer. You can raise your hand to explain to us how you got the answer. Please, let's work together, guys. You have about a minute left. You have about a minute left. One minute left. You have about a minute left. 1 minute left. You have a minute left. Then, so if you are able to explain to us if you got the answer, how you got the answer, please raise your hand. Time up. Time up. Time up. Right. Here is the answer. Who can help us with how they got the answer? Who can help us with how they got the answer? Maybe you have a way of explaining it.
I put my hand up for the first one.
Oh, okay. Did you get the answer correct for this one?
No.
All right. Oh, what was your mistake? Fine. Who can explain it for us? Hello? Hello? Okay. Try here. Hello? Hello? seems that you guys are quiet. All right. Let me explain it. It's fine. I just wanted one person to try and explain it to us. Let me try here. Maybe it's the connection between myself and yourselves. Maybe it's the connection between myself and yourself. Maybe you're about to get power cut. Hello? Hello? All right, it's fine. I think it's the reception between myself and yourself. It's fine. I'll explain it either way. All right. I hear the connection is fine, or maybe no one wants to speak to me about how they got the answer. It's all right. It's fine. What's going on now? Right. So we say that we start with the unit side. One part is for the units, right, of our multiply. The other part is for the tens, right? So one part is for the units, the other part is for the tens. Then we start. 7 times 8 is what? 7 times 8 is what? 7 times 8 is 56. Right? 7 times 8 is 56. We drop the 6 and we go over with on the other side with 5. Then 7 times 8 again is what? It's 56. Plus 5 is what? 61. Then you write 6 and 1. Then down, it's where you go and say what? We are going to put a placeholder. We are going to place a placeholder. Why? Because this time we're no longer working with just an ordinary unit. We are working with a 10, a whole 10, an entire 10, a full 10, something that is in the tens place. It's 90. We're working with 90. 90 has a 9 and a 0. So having that, we are going to say, all right, I'm going to put 0 here at the end as my placeholder. And putting 0 at the end as my placeholder, I go on and I say 9 times 8 is what? 9 times 8. 9 times 8 is what? 72. So I drop the 2 and I go over to the other side with a 7. Then I say 9 times 8 is what? 72. Plus 7 is what? 79. Then I write out the 79 because there's nothing that you're gonna carry over 2. Then you add the 2. 6 plus 0 is 6. 1 plus 2 is 3. 6 plus 9 is 15. Then I carry what? 1. Then 1 plus 7 is 8. Then I have 8, 5, 3, 6. This side, we say unit must multiply both the 10 and the 8. So it's 8 times 7, 80 plus times 7. 8 times 7, 56. 80 times 7, 560. Then it's 8 times 9, 80 times 90. 8 times 9 is 720. 80 times 90 is 7,200. You add everything together, you get 8,530. 8,530. That's what you get. That's what you get. So you have two methods here to get the answer. You can use either or. This one, I like it because it's quicker, but you can use either of the two methods. Do we have any questions? Any clarity seeking questions before we go to our homework? Because this is now where we touch down with multiplication. Do we have any clarity seeking questions? Anything that needs us to go over? Anyone with a question? Anything that you need? If you've understood, super, because now we have 4 minutes left. And I want to come here to what's important. Homework. Anybody with a question? Questions? Does anyone have a question? Hello? It's quiet. All right. Anyone with a question? Do any of you have questions? Do any of you? Here is your homework. Just try and do your homework. You can note me in the chat. Here is your homework. If you guys have understood, you can also tell me in the chat that you've understood. That would be awesome. But are there any questions? All right. I see I've got one. Hello?
Sir,
Hello. Yes.
can you please explain long division?
We'll do long division probably next week.
Yes, sir.
All right. Long division. What? Single digit or double digit?
Dou-
Double digit.
Double digit. Double digit.
All right. Awesome. Long division, we'll look at it next week. We were supposed to do it this week, but I saw that you guys were not very clear on multiplication, but division is going to be done next week. Any other questions that you guys might have? Right. I see that most of you understand. Thank you guys for participating in the lesson. Please always do contact me if you have any problems. And thank you very much. I hope the lesson was good enough and you guys could get and understand the process of multiplication, and I explained it in detail. Please do use the video. Please do use the video. I see that someone wants me to put my email in the chat. My email is as follows. It is in the chat. I know that our time must be over, so you will have to quickly write it down. There we go. So my email address is in the chat. Please, guys, please continue to be super students, and thank you very much for attending the lesson. And please, guys, practice. Make sure you always practice. And if you don't understand, please do not hesitate to contact me. My email address was there in the beginning of the lesson. My email address is also in the chat. Please do not hesitate to contact me. I do not want you guys to be left in the dark. I want everyone to be in the light. That's where we must all be, in the light. But thank you guys for being amazing students and continue to be superstars, the superstars that you are. Bye. Love you all. Bye-bye.